A question I get pretty frequently is, are you gonna move back to Japan? Or, do you want to move back to Japan? And my immediate answer is, hell yeah. To catch people up who don't know, I spent a year living in Japan and learning Japanese after feeling burnout from my former tech job. It was super challenging because I really didn't know very much Japanese or very much about Japanese culture before going, and it was such an adventure, and I have such fond memories just through the whole experience itself. And then I returned to a lackluster America, which is mainly because of the pandemic, not because I hate America or anything like that. And honestly, I've felt pretty stagnant ever since. So yeah, because of those fond memories, I always say yes when I'm asked this kind of question. But honestly, the real answer isn't so simple. I recently watched a PewDiePie video where he talks about his struggles as he tries to move to Japan. He's had to start a business in Japan, rent an office, hire employees, and invest in order to get the chance to live in Japan. And on top of that, he can't enter the country due to COVID restrictions in response to the variant, which is also a problem for a lot of students, employees, and visitors trying to get into Japan right now as well. Just like my friend Tokuyu TV, who is also on YouTube and made a channel to talk about Japanese and his life working in Japan, but still hasn't been let in to actually start his job. So the least you can do is subscribe to him. And this can also bring about the discussion of whether Japanese people want foreigners to live in Japan, if Japanese people like foreigners, if it's fair that Japanese people can enter and leave the country freely but foreigners can't. And honestly, I really don't want to get into that discussion, but if I had to give an answer, I would probably say that the issue is culturally, Japan is so different from the rest of the world, but all of these arguments don't necessarily represent the Japanese people's point of view, just the government and their decision. And from an American point of view, I already know that the government isn't always right. No cap. The point is, it's hard to live in Japan as a foreigner. Like, even the one and only PewDiePie is struggling. It's just a struggle because you need a special visa in order to be a resident. This can be a student visa at first, but eventually you need either a work visa, business visa, or spouse visa in order to stay in the country. Then you can apply for permanent residency after 10 or more years if you meet the requirements. Now that's just the struggle that everyone goes through in order to be a resident in Japan. But I'm also having some personal internal struggles as well. A lot of the fond memories that I have living in Japan were because of my situation. I was a language student who was able to meet a lot of students at my language school and then meet a lot of Japanese people through sports clubs and other activities, which really did help me make friends and practice my Japanese. In my free time, I was able to socialize, make YouTube videos, and explore a country that was really foreign to me at the time. But I know that going back now would be different. If I went back to school, it would be for the purpose of passing the JLPT, which is the route to find a job in Japan. And working in Japan is a different challenge, since work-life balance hasn't really been discovered yet, let alone being proficient enough in Japanese to actually be hired. But I think my true hesitations come from the thought that Japan might not be how I remember it. Am I still gonna be able to find that joy that was there before I left? Can I somehow just pick up from where I left off? Or am I going to tarnish the image of Japan that I have in my mind right now? Alas, there's not much that I can do personally until the pandemic is solved around the world. So I really do my best to try and just put all these thoughts into the back of my mind. And there are situations where my dreams may come true. I might be able to find a job or some kind of work that I love, maybe in the realm of videography or YouTube, and be able to truly establish a working relationship between Japan and America. But for now, I'll just do what PewDiePie and the rest of you who are waiting to get into Japan are doing. I'll wait. Thank you guys for watching this video. Honestly, lately I've been having some insomnia and just kind of brainstorm this video idea because it felt like a very stressful idea in the back of my mind, so I made sure to write it down and kind of just wanted to share it with all of you because with the pandemic happening and just life in general, I'm sure that some people might be able to relate to this or just have concerns about what they want to do in the future just as much as I do. So you don't have to relate to this. I'm not saying that this is anyone's problem. It could just be a problem of my own, but I wanted to just put it out there for people who are having a similar problem as me, whether it just be inside your head, or a PewDiePie issue where you really just have plans to get into Japan or get to wherever you want to go and you can't. Let me know in the comments if you do have this kind of problem, and if no one comments, then it's just my own problem and I'm making a big deal out of whatever's up in here. Also, if you have time, make sure to support the channel by subscribing, liking the video, and doing all that cool stuff. And I'll see you next time. Mata ne.